Hi, everybody. I'm Bonnie Gillespie, and I want to talk to you about getting gear for the next tier. This is the work I'm proudest of. And I wrote Self Management for Actors, so I got a lot to be proud of. I know the work that I've done has been important in the careers of tens of thousands of actors all over the world, and I love every stitch of the work that I do. Don't get me wrong, it's really tough for me to play favorites here, but getting gear for the next tier has created a momentum that was unexpected to some degree. It's certainly what I hoped for, but to be met with so much enthusiasm and so much joy for the creative journey that these beautiful creatives are on has just been overwhelmingly inspiring. And it did exactly what I hoped it would do, which is bridge the gap between the frustrated energy, the anxiety, the overwhelm, the I don't know where to begin frustration of a creative career, that feeling that I'm all alone and nobody's ever been through this before and I can't figure any of this out. And bridge the gap from that to the next tier version of you, that version of you that has it all together, that version of you that gets how it works, the version of you that has the confidence and the inner strength to stay in this day after day after day, that endurance, that ability to weather all the downs. Because one thing's for sure, I'm never going to try and convince you to do anything with me or anybody else because it is going to prevent the downs, because nothing prevents the downs. The downs are going to come. It's a part of this creative business. It's a part of this industry. It's a part of life. What this course does, in addition to working the self-management for actors principles through all throughout the 100 days, is it layers in a really good helping of self-care, of money management, of mindset, even some woo-woo, to really make sure that you have tools to pull from so that when things go off the rails, when you find yourself overwhelmed again, when you're disappointed, when you're down, you have this amazing toolbox to pull from. And you're never again sitting at that starting point of, I have no idea what to do. And I'm going to share with you some conversations that I've had with people who took our Getting Gear for the Next Tier course in its inaugural launch. That first group of people that joined us for, let's see what this is going to turn out to be. And I'm so excited about some of the things that they've had to share about their process. So let me share some of that right now.
Deeply unsatisfied, I think, is the best way to put it. I actually was just not pursuing it in the slightest. I said that I was, but I wasn't doing a whole lot. I'd once in a while do something for it. It came to the point where my mother actually sat down and had a conversation with me that she was like, are you really pursuing this, or are you just drinking with friends and finding excuses to have fun? And then I think maybe a month later, you were like, hey, this program's coming up at the start of the new year. And I said, you know what? I think that's the perfect way to jump full force back into it and actually pursue it. There were some days that I physically could not do it just because I was working a support job or I was in the middle of moving. So, of course, there were some days. I think what's terrifying if you're going, literally, I have to do every single day of the 100 days absolutely perfectly. Yes, that is completely intimidating, but we're human, so no, I did not do everything perfectly, and it's not anywhere near as scary as it sounds.
Good.
I'd kind of spun out on the acting stuff and ended up being totally lost, and I just knew that that's what was going to get me back. 100 days. I've never committed to something. I can't even... I shouldn't say I can't, but I've probably never finished even a 10-day challenge because I'm so scatterbrained and it's so awful. But I committed to this 100 days and I did it. Even if I didn't commit fully to a day, or if I completely panicked and didn't do the day at all, I'm still thinking about it and I'm still ruminating over it and I just restarted the 100 days. So I'm going to hold myself accountable and make myself do those days. The ones that involve money are the ones that I haven't done.
One of the big things that I was looking to, I don't know, is change, but that I was looking to sort of implement or strengthen was this idea that you could put in time in a bunch of different areas for your career and keep moving forward, either in little tiny steps or big steps. That you could sort of implement it in a daily way that wasn't just let me click on breakdowns and take a look one more time to see if there's anything in it that's, you know, my brand or whatever. So I think that was something that sort of created that itch. I wanted a very easy to work with, easy to install into my life sort of process, which is exactly what I got, which was great.
I felt like I had no focus. I felt like I was really working on my craft as an actress, that I was really putting a lot of time into that, and getting to the point where I go, oh yeah, I am an actress. I am an actress. I know I can act now. And, you know, getting my knowing the depth of my kind of emotional range. So I had that all going, but I just didn't have any idea about how to go about the business. I didn't know, and I don't think I had the right mindset.
What was it about seeing this 100-day challenge stretched out ahead of you that made you say, "Oh, that I'm in. We're doing that"?
I knew it was time. It was time, and I knew that I wanted to give myself that time. I was ready to give myself the 100 days. And I love a challenge. I love a challenge. And the fact that it was so long, you know, much longer than any other challenge I've ever done. You know, I can challenge myself to, you know, 10 days, 20 days of some kind of like juicy type thing. But the fact that it was a 100-day challenge, it excited me. What could actually be explored in 100 days? How deep can we go in those 100 days? Because it's the whole 100-day thing is not a superficial thing. It's a deep dive.
I got married last fall, and after I got married, I was like, okay, it's time to start hitting this hard again. I had taken kind of a 3-year break from really pursuing my career goals. So I found myself at the end of last year, about the time that you announced getting gear for the next year, being like, okay, 2017 is the year I'm getting back into this hardcore. So when you announced that, I was like, the stars are aligning for us to work together again. So I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I need. 100 days of accountability, 100 days to get me going again, to refresh my mind of all the principles and kind of create a long-term game plan for where I'm going next.
Well, and let's go into that a little bit. How did you feel about the structure specifically? Because I know some people are like 100 days, that's a lot, and some people are like, yes, 100 days. Like, where did you fall on the spectrum?
I knew that it was going to be a lot since we had done the 12-week course in 2012 together. So what really clinched it for me was knowing that I was going to be able to, after the fact, go back. So I knew that the amount of work that you throw at people during your courses is a lot, and it is very overwhelming. But knowing that ongoing membership was going to be there, I was like, okay, cool. I can just take it at my pace. Like, I can absorb what I'm going to absorb. I can make notes of what I'm going to need to go back to. But I'm also going to get things out of it that I don't expect, because that's the way your courses roll. Like, there's always something new and something new to discover.
Again, I felt like I was really more like, wah, like this, starting at like a lot of actors just feeling uncertain about the next step and yet trying to take a step and let me just throw it out there. And having committed to doing it, like I said, I was really crazy busy going into it, not knowing that I was going to book a show and that there was all this good stuff that was going to happen while I was doing it. But the commitment of every day of checking in and the homework, which was so mind-blowing and so life-altering, I feel a lot more solid where I am right now of going, okay, yes, when all this stuff happens, I go, chatter. I have some tools to really ground myself and really help me not feel like I have to make this panicked choice, but make a very well thought out, well felt out choice of like what's going to be a good next step. So I definitely feel stronger. It's like you always talk about working out the muscles. I feel like I found muscles that I knew were weak, but I wasn't sure how to grow them. And then going to the 100 days was like a gym. And it's like, oh, this is how I do it. Oh, okay, cool. And that's actually why I restarted it, because I felt like I still want that commitment. Because I was trying to do it on my own, and I'm like, getting that email every day of like, hey, here you go. This is an option of what to do today. Has been very helpful of helping me feel like, okay, yeah, I'm strong. I'm continuing to work this out.
I think that some of the things that surprised me most about the program were, I think some of them were things that I already knew, and that just a reminder, like, it's always important to go back to the core stuff. Take a look at those things you kind of almost second nature do once you're past a certain point in your career. But that just because it's second nature doesn't mean that it should be taken for granted. And some of those reminders. And I think the other thing that really, I don't know if it surprised me, but sort of was incredibly helpful was this idea that the things that I'm doing to take care of myself are actually things that I'm doing to take care of my career. So good.
Laura, it's crazy because we had listed out like what the different categories were going to be before we launched the course. And I was like, self-care is going to be woven throughout. I'm not going to call that a category. And by the time we were even just a part way through, I was like, self-care is the category. It's like...
so true. Self-care. And I think as actors, a lot of actors don't have that sort of in their makeup to do. And then females also don't do self-care, or their self-care is sort of that last thing on the list. And then you get to the day of the audition and you're stressed out and you're tired and you're up all night because somebody's cat was sick or dog needed walk, whatever it is. And suddenly you're like, wow, I really should have gotten myself a massage and had some juice and done some breathing exercises. Sort of thing. So I love that was like, it was woven throughout the course, but it was also a really good reminder that, you need to take these steps and you need to do it for your career as well as for yourself.
There's this thing I've got on my wall, which is, how do I behave if I'm the best in the world at what I do? And God, I feel quite emotional just saying that, because that was a real point, a turning point for me, because from just hearing you write that and hearing you talk about that, it helped me take everything, my whole life, to a different level. Because how do I behave if I know I'm the best in the world at what I do? I behave completely differently. There's still the parts of me that I love, the old parts of me, but I have kind of like gone, goodbye. I'm a different person now.
One that was a real turning point for me was in the first couple of weeks when you talked about celebrating other people's successes as your own. That was really, really, because anytime that I would see an acquaintance do something great, I would be happy for them, but I'd get that feeling. And that still comes up, but I'm able to rationalize it, and I'm able to say, this is fantastic for them. We're doing the same thing. This is great. And I am able to celebrate their successes as my own, which in turn makes me work harder, makes me just happier in general, and it doesn't get me bogged down about, I'm not doing good enough, I'm just sitting on my ass over here with these cats.
I talk about it all the time. And other ninjas who have done it do as well. Karen Francis, who had run into at a workshop, we started talking to two people. We were talking about the program, and everybody's like, what are you talking about? This sounds amazing. And we're like, oh my God, it is life-changing. And so we would bring up different aspects of the I know it's called a 100-day challenge, but it's really like a revolution or a renaissance. And that's another bonus that I don't know if any of us expected, but you popping in and giving little tweaks or little recommendations or just like even a yeah you is just fantastic. It's amazing. It's like getting to coach with you every day, which is like, wow, dang. That's worth the price of admission, baby. Seriously.
I was surprised at how mindset driven it was. I kind of thought it would be an extended version of like getting gear for the new year.
Yeah.
Which it is in a lot of respects, but it's so much more like well-rounded approach to just like happiness in life. It's kind of getting gear for the next year of your life, not even just necessarily this career. So I found myself becoming more of the person that I hope to become, rather than, yes, also the actor. And I've seen a lot of like acting career growth, but more importantly is I've seen a lot of personal growth.
Showing up for yourself every day creates a transformation. I know this for sure. Whether you are down for this 100-day challenge or some other type of commitment that you make to yourself, trust me on this, the mere act of committing to being there for yourself and then being there for yourself creates change that everyone around you notices. Because if we think about how often we walk through life not committing to ourselves, not investing in the type of time that it takes to refill the well creatively, not to mention just for the endurance that is required to live through a creative career, we realize, wow, I have been undernourished in this place for myself. And if I start giving myself back that time, if I show up every day, even if it takes 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, and you're technically not getting through all 100 days in 100 days, it's not a problem. We have people who have taken way more than 100 days to get through the 100 days because life happens. But that ability to clock in and say, non-negotiable, I will carve out this time for myself. I will stand up for the part of me that needs an investment, that needs more nurturing. I will say to my inner artist, what you're doing is important and has value. That kind of thing has benefits that are so far-reaching beyond the self-management for actors work itself, which of course, indisputably, that is important work. It works and we know it, but it's the investment in yourself and the showing up for yourself and that commitment that you make to yourself to stop selling yourself short that is unquestionable in every room you enter going forward.
I loved the mindset stuff, the enough one. Jeez Louise, day three, y'all. I mean, even day one was fantastic. I'm blanking on it. The letters, holy smokes. And it's fun to go back to that because when I first did it the first time around, that everybody had where you write to your little self and that sense of shame. We all felt ashamed. And so coming back to it after having done 100 days, I'm like, hey, I'm doing my little check-in with my inner child, and it's going to be cool. We're making it through. We're making it happen. So it was that in itself was a great leap to approach myself and my craft and my business without a sense of shame. That's certainly something that changed. I mean, wow. Yeah.
Mindset. Because for me, it's if I have the mindset, then I can do everything in there. Yeah. Knowing it's the knowing that I'm in the right place, right here, right now. I know with a certainty now. I know.
That knowing is everything, isn't it?
It's everything.
I love the vault, and one of the things that I've done, I've kind of implemented it in a couple of ways. Sometimes I just flip through and I say, like, having a tough day with mindset, and I'll go in and I'll pop open one of the mindsets, and then I'll notate. I have this little list that says, because one of the awesome things, for me anyway, about these is every time you brought something up, you would say, go back to day 34 and 14 for this. So I'll notate those days, and this gives me sort of a running list of things to check in with and recheck and come back to. And the other thing about the vault I love is there's always new goodies going into it. So every time I'm like, I feel like I've seen it all. Like I have, but whatever. Like, oh, there's a new thing. Oh, they posted a new thing. I'll go in and look. So that's really exciting too.
It's been great. She and I meet up roughly once a week, and I check in on her and see if she posts things on the program. And she was feeling kind of like similar to me, but she's even a little younger than myself. She was feeling really lost on how to like even start the whole moving to Hollywood process.
Yeah.
And she'd done a lot of your reading of your book, but she didn't have a lot of like contacts here. And so I was like, this program really has just done wonders for me in so many ways that it is the number one thing that I'll recommend.
Oh, wow.
The connection with the community is incredibly important because it's like that throughout the 100 days, and as well because you are amazing with your the way that you are able to respond to all of us. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. It's amazing. But it is the ongoing ability to dip into every single day into this vault of goodies, and you can find all these wonderful goodies. And there are things that you dip in, you go, oh yes, that's it. That's exactly what I need to hear today. And I also love the Facebook page that we have, and because I just love being able to still speak to all of the people that are just so wonderful on this course, because all of us are kind of like the same vibe, got the same vibe thing going on. It's really great. And then I've got a mentee. Is it called a mentee?
I think I was mentee. Yeah.
Called Sandra, and she's really lovely, and we talk to each other, and just as much as I'm her mentor, she's my mentor.
Absolutely.
Because we inspire each other, and so I love the whole thing.
Everyone's commenting at the same time and replying to each other at the same time. We can text each other and say, oh, I don't know what to do right now, help me, and just really have a good vibe going.
I feel like I treat myself so much better than I've ever done before. And I seem to be like taking little gaps in the day where I just kind of lie on the sofa. I mean, this is things I never did before. I just give myself some time to go, you know what, I'm just going to lay on my sofa and look at the clouds for a little bit. Yeah. And that, plus all of this really aligned, non-busy actor work, there's so much more of an ease about what I'm doing. I think what I felt before was like this kind of like panic and holding together, and I have to kind of succeed, and I have to do all these things that actors do. But now I kind of do the things I know I need to do, and a lot of the time I'm kind of relaxing, but I feel like I'm kind of moving forward better than I've ever done before, because I know I'm just so much more patient. I'm so much more relaxed and so much more at ease. And I know that is what opens up and allows the wonderfulness to happen, And I've got a music video coming up where it's so exciting and creative. And I know that these things are coming to me because I am in a place of ease. Yeah.
The big goal that I set was to leave my full-time job and to find a part-time job. And yesterday was my last day at my full-time job. So, yay!
That's amazing!
It didn't happen in the initial 100 days as I'd planned, but it did happen in 6 months as opposed to I've been trying to do this for 3 years prior to. So, this definitely accelerated that goal. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it, but now that I've completed the 100 days, I've realized that this year I really want to focus on the mindset stuff. So I'm really continuing to dive into the mindset stuff, some of it from the vault, but a lot of revisiting from the initial 100 days, just principles that I knew are going to take me some months to kind of fully integrate into my life, and confidence being a big one. my confidence is shot through the roof, but there's still a lot of more work for me to do.
I'm seeing it because having known you all these years, I'm like, all right, girl, this is good.
Yeah, I feel like a completely different person, and I know that like I've just scratched the surface on that work. So I'm mostly focusing on that stuff for this year, but also like the stuff that inspires me, like going to Wire Image and starting to look through, you know, all the red carpet stuff and trying to get an idea of like, okay, so part of my branding is going to need it be to have outfits for these level of events and these level of events, stuff like that. So I'm doing the mindset work and then diving into the stuff that really excites me, which is the next tier dreaming type stuff.
Right on.
I am now SAG E, whereas before I was completely non-union. I was in industrial that was really nice and high paying, which is very nice. I have materials that I'm proud of. I shot my first short film that is being reviewed for festivals, and there's so much more. I actually have a show Bible now. I have a perfect like setup for a self-tape studio. So should I ever be asked to do self-taping, I have that just like at the drop of a pin ready to do.
Nice.
I've taken courses that scared me. I've actually gone to networking events, which I never did before. God, what else? There's just so much. Sometimes I forget when trying to label it out. Oh, I'm getting new headshots at the end of the month, and I have a little bulletin board drawn up with all the different, like, I have my brand umbrella, which you and I talked about, and, like, really solidified, and then I'll have all the different types that I want to have, like, showcased in, like, little subsets of it, and then I'll have all the shows, and I actually understand the shows, and it's really interesting because I'm seeing all the different aspects of Hollywood that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of obsessing over them because I think it's awesome.
And even just in regular life, where like I was talking about doing the networking thing. So I'm like, God, networking, blah. And then I found myself doing it without even thinking that it hit me as I was there. I'm like, and I was talking, because I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to improv with people. I don't know who they are. I don't know who I am. Let's talk, you know? And it felt amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is day 14. And so I went back to...
I love that we take the self-management for actors principles, which are already phenomenal, and we do a layer of money management. We do a layer of self-care. We do a layer of the woo-woo. We do a layer of mindset. We do a layer of, obviously, the core and those principles about branding and networking and content creation and all the things that you know are an important part of your creative career and your ongoing pursuit. But that infusion of mindset and self-care and the way you talk to yourself about who you are, that's the kind of thing that the 100 days really rolls out beautifully. That vision of yourself that you have out there, that future you that you hope exists and you hope you can get to, you start getting to meet way sooner than the 100 days. We've had people say that they knew by day 2, day 3, day 14. There have been turning points that have been brought up throughout this course that it doesn't take the 100 days to then say, okay, now I've graduated. Now I've got that stamp that says I've completed this. Now check, I can be the future badass that I know I am. It can start. One of the ninjas I interviewed actually said it was when she got the welcome kit and it was when she got that access email that said you're in, that she knew everything had changed because she had committed to showing up for herself in a way that she never had before, and she just felt in her gut things are going to be different this time. And especially if you're someone who has said that to yourself before and then found yourself right back at the same place, overwhelmed, exhausted, anxiety filled about something that's supposed to be you living your dreams, I can promise you this course is unlike anything you have ever experienced in your life. And a lot of it is you and your ability to show up for it. So here's who this course is not for. if you are the type who signs up for something, downloads stuff, and then figures, okay, the work is done, and hopes just by osmosis you're going to get it. If you've bought self-management for actors and then it sits on a shelf rather than it is with you everywhere and it has dog-eared edges and torn pages and highlighted to crap sections, like if you're the type of person who believes that just getting access to the information is enough to create change, this is not the course for you. As with everything that I have churned out in the course of my long career, it's going to be work. It's going to challenge you. I don't sell this as an easy fix. It's not a quick fix. This is a long-term commitment. And I say good because I want it to weed out people who are not committed enough to show up for themselves for 100 straight days. Because if you can't get behind yourself and say, I'm going to give this a shot and I'm going to see if the future me is actually waiting to receive me right at the end of this or even sooner, then I don't want to be in business with you. So this course is not for you if you have a chronic history of quitting things before you even get started. That said, if you're someone who can get a few days in and then feel the momentum of the course itself take you forward, then this could be the turning point you've been looking for. And I say that because we offer tools right there in the welcome kit, not to mention in those first crucial few days of the course that are going to turbocharge your relationship with commitment to yourself and commitment to your creative career.
Do it. Are they ready? If they're ready, then go for it. Because it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not. Because I know that an older version of me may not have been able to do this. You know, because you have to be ready to take it up a notch. But it's the best thing ever. Because it's not only strategy, it's not only, what to do next. It's also so good for your mind because it strengthens your mind so much in all areas of your life. And it's got a little sprinkling of magic as well. You know, it's a full-bodied experience.
Oh, I love hearing you say that. I think one of my favorite things to show up to in the comments every day is someone whose new day is unlocking, because we have, people at all various days of the course, because you could start any time, and there will be someone who's just landed on a day and they'll say, how did you know this is exactly what I needed today?
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite parts about this course is that I built the curriculum thinking toward, well, once we've unlocked this, that's potentially going to cause this conversation to need to happen. So let's make sure that's built in, not too far out from that, so that support is there.
I would say that if you're in a place where you are ready to see how much of yourself is holding you back from your next tier, then this program is prime for you. If you're not quite in that place, then you're probably going to be frustrated by this program, because a lot of it is internally driven. So you really do have to be self-aware or be willing to become self-aware to get the most benefit out of this program.
Well said. I couldn't agree more.
I think that it's important to realize that you can start from wherever you are. I've heard a few people saying things like, when I get to LA, or when I get my first co-star, or when I, whatever X, Y, and Z mind tappy thing that they're telling themselves that they're using to stop themselves, then I'll do it. And I would just say, jump in now. I'm about to start, I have a really busy month, but as soon as that month happens, I'm about to start it over again, because
awesome.
I know that there are going to be things that I didn't even notice the first time through that are going to jump out this time, because I've done one layer of the work, and now I'm going to go in and do another layer of the work and just keep layering those.
It's the best investment you can make for yourself, for your craft, for your business, and for your life. I've seen so many people, and it's easy to go, oh, well, it's just me, but it's not. I've seen so many people flourish from it, and transform. It's transformative. If you're looking for something that's going to make you feel better about your work that you're doing, better about your take on the business and how you want to move forward in this business, and the work you want to do, and also if you want to feel better about yourself, I mean, this would be the program for you. So, thumbs up.
If you felt that there is more potential that you're not unlocking, if you feel lost, if you feel like you're not doing enough for your career, but you don't really know where to begin, and you're not living to the potential that you think you have, and if you don't know you have it, and you're like, I'm not sure, this program will help you know. I guess I'm coming at this from after this program, like, I know I've got it. I know I have the potential. I know that it's going to happen. I'm a big old 5. If you want to feel like that, and if you want your actions to reflect that, this is absolutely the program for you.
Oh, Lydia, that's awesome. And I love hearing that you just idle at that place of knowing you're enough now. 'Cause that to me is way bigger a win than, becoming union eligible or producing your own content and having it go through the festival process. I mean, I love all that too for you.
Yeah.
But just that sense of knowing of, like, no, I got this.
Yeah. Well, and also, I know I mentioned it before in, like, other conversations we had, but I know I didn't say it here. So at the start of this program, you write your, like, number one word or feeling that you would like to achieve. And mine was confidence. Because before this, I had none. Like, with the person I was dating, I constantly felt like I would have to check in with all my friends. I never believed when they would tell me compliments. I just idled at this, like, really insecure place. I didn't think people liked me, all these sort of things. And now people who I haven't seen in years are, oh my goodness, like, you're just so confident. My family, you're just really confident now. I keep hearing that back, and people can't believe that I was ever not confident. And not in a cocky way, but just like a proud, badass ninja sort of way.
Yeah. And no more mom sitting you down saying, okay, what's going on? What is this?
No, now my mom, like, it's so funny. I actually just got off the phone with her maybe 2 hours ago, and she was like, I'm just so proud of all that you've done and accomplished the past few months. Like, it is just amazing that you were working so hard. I can't believe, like, yeah, it's just entirely
having fun along the way, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm much happier because I'm doing the life that I always said that I wanted, but I'm actually living it.
Lydia, that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a loser or do you want to have money?
That is such an on-brand answer, Blair.
I don't know what else to say. I feel like I don't think I was a loser, but I definitely didn't know shit before I did any of this stuff, and I thought I did. Now I'm like, this seems so obvious. And it's, you said at the SMFA retreat, you're like, this is all common knowledge. And Keith said, yeah, to you. And so you shared it with everyone, and now you have all these thousands of ninjas, like, running around causing terror in Hollywood, and it's magnificent.
I know that this thing we've created is one of the most powerful tools, one of the most powerful collections of tools that you will ever bump into, and that we have this opportunity to connect like this, and for us to be in the comments every day jamming with you as you are going through and having your experiences and your aha moments and your epiphanies and your blocks. And you're able to ask those questions and have this community support you is something that I am so incredibly proud of and so incredibly grateful for. I continue to learn things about this business and our ability to connect with people as storytellers through the gifts that y'all share with me by being enrolled in this program. So thank you for checking this out. Thank you for exploring. Thank you for sharing with me any questions that you have about what it is that we've created. And I hope if you are feeling so inspired that you will sign up to join us in getting gear for the next tier. Now,